Welcome everyone to Vested Interest. This is Shane back again for another stock pick of the day video. It is November 8th. We are going to take a look at one out of the information technology sector today, Taiwan Semiconductor. Let's jump right in and check them out. If you want to know more about this company, check them out at www.tsmc.com. That is www.tsmc.com. TSMC, New York Stock Exchange, ticker TSM, Taiwan Semiconductor, created the semiconductor dedicated IC foundry business model when it was founded in 1987. In 2022, TSMC served 532 customers and manufactured 12,698 products for various applications covering a variety of end markets, including high-performance computing, smartphones, the Internet of Things, IoT, in automotive and digital consumer electronics. Annual capacity of the manufacturing facilities managed by TSMC and its subsidiaries exceeded 15 million 12-inch equivalent wafers in 2022. These facilities included 4 12-inch wafer gigafabs, 4 8-inch wafer fabs, and 1 6-inch wafer fab, all in Taiwan, as well as 12-inch wafer fab at a wholly owned subsidiary, TSMC Nanjing Company Limited, and 2 8-inch wafer fabs at wholly owned subsidiaries WaferTech in the United States and TSMC China Company Limited. So I won't read the rest. You can go ahead and read the rest of this, but they have their footprint all over the globe. They are building some new factories here in America, so that will bring more of their manufacturing here stateside, which is going to be a good thing and maybe alleviate some of the concern people have with this being a Taiwan company, the issues with China that we have there, as well as their China factories. So it gives them a little bit more diversification, and maybe for you as an investor, for me as an investor, a little more reason to look at them and not be as apprehensive about the impacts that some of these issues worldwide might have. Obviously, those factories are still under construction, so they're not pumping out semiconductors yet, but here over the next couple of years they will be. So again, if you want to know more about them, check them out at www.tsmc.com. Everything we use now, all the electronics that we have, your phone, your computers, everything that we use on a daily basis, digital products, uses semiconductors. So this company, along with the others that make them, I don't think they're going anywhere. If anything, the need for these particular companies' products are going to continue to grow, in my opinion. Now, the reason we were taking a look at them, we're down on the day, 0.44%. Not a big drop, but this has been on my list to cover for a while now, so I thought I'd take the opportunity. We are talking about Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company Limited, ticker TSM, out of the information technology sector. Closed out the day at $92. Looks like they're even in the after hours, at least when I pulled this up. 52-week range as low as $64.95, as high as $110.69. So this is one that is not really close to its 52-week low, probably a little closer to its 52-week high, actually. But we're going to take a look at it anyway. Average volume 8.7 billion. Today's was 6.4, and pretty much a lot of volatility, but overall from start to finish a sell-off here, though it wasn't a whole lot for the day. Market cap of 477.15 billion, a large cap company here. Beta of 1.17. You can see that volatility right there, a little more volatile than the overall market. Price to earnings PE ratio sitting at $16.31 per share. EPS, nice EPS, earnings per share on this one, $5.64 per share. They do not have an earnings date listed, so I would need to do a little bit more research and see where that is at. Forward dividend is $1.83. They are a quarterly payer. They have a, this is a little lower than what I typically look for, so might be one again to look and see if it pulls back more towards its 52-week low to get it up into the 2% dividend yield, but its current dividend yield, 1.97%. Ex-dividend date will be December 14th. So if you were to buy them now, you would be in line for that payout. And it looks like they will pay out January 11th. 1-year target estimate, at least according to Yahoo Finance, they see it setting a new 52-week high of $114.91. Let's jump over to statistics. We're going to look at dividend yield theory to see if this one is presenting any value. To do that, we go down to its 5-year dividend yield average, 2.44%. Compare it to its current 1.97. Forward, it says here, but it's the current 1.97, same number. And since this is lower than their 5-year average, it speaks to overvaluation on this one. So again, might be worth throwing on the watch list, waiting for it to pull back further, see if it pulls back closer to this 52-week low and get it into the mid 2% dividend yield range to be undervalued on this one. Payout ratio is low, 30.17%. We're going to look at financials. We want to look at growing free cash flow. We want growing free cash flow because that's what dividends are paid out of. But you want to get into financials and look at a lot more than just that. You can look at their income statement, their balance sheet. What's their revenue doing? Is it growing over time or is it decreasing? Are they paying down their debts? Are they taking on more debt? Do they have more assets over liabilities? Lots of good information. What do their margins look like? A lot of good information in there. So make sure you're checking out all of the financials of a company if you are going to be investing in it. Let's look at free cash flow because dividends are paid out of free cash flow. 2019, 145 billion. Up in 2020 to 301 billion, drop in 2021 to 262, but then a big jump back up in 2022 to 520 billion. Looks like so far to date 290 billion. So overall from 2019 to date, growing free cash flow, which is what we want to see. They are repurchasing a little bit of their shares here as well, at least over 2022 and to date this year. Now, I recommend more than one source. So Yahoo Finance is what we saw on the previous page. Stockanalysis.com is another one that I like. I'm not affiliated with either. Make sure you are picking more than one source, any sources that you like, so that you can make sure the information you are getting is accurate and up to date. Now, according to the two stock analysts, which is not a lot, they call this a strong buy. They have a low estimate of $115. It's currently sitting lower than their lowest estimate, and their lowest estimate is actually above their 52-week high, so that's pretty surprising. And that would be a 25% increase if it was to come up to their low estimate. Average estimate of $125, that would be a 35.87% increase. And if it happened to hit their high of $135, that would be a 46.74% increase in the stock price. All the while, you could collect that nearly 2% dividend yield if you were to buy them now. Now, I like to get into statistics here and look at return on equity and return on invested capital. I like 10% or better for both. On this one, return on equity, 31.5%, very nice. And return on invested capital sitting at 21.97%. So 2% and 3% higher than what I'm looking for, respectively. Now, I typically like to look at their EPS growth forecast over the next 5 years. I like 5% or better. They did not have one listed here, and they did not list out what their projected revenue growth is either. So I'd need to do a little bit more research to see what they're thinking they're going to do in the future. But with some of these foreign companies, I'm not surprised by that. Sometimes they don't list those projections out, and you have to do a little bit of research to find them. So if you're interested, make sure you're getting in there and figuring out what is their earnings per share. Has it been growing, and is it projected to grow into the future? Same thing with their revenue. Now we want to take a look at their dividends. We saw a low payout. We saw on the 30% there from Yahoo Finance. From stockanalysis.com, they say 26.5. So another one, if we were to split the difference, just under 30%. Either way, low payout ratio on this one. Lots of room to increase that payout, to pay down debt, to make acquisitions, to do all the things that they do with free cash flow. Lots of room, not in any jeopardy of cutting that dividend, at least according to their dividend payout ratio. They may cut it for other reasons, but it's not because they can't afford it. Dividend growth is very slow on this one. This is one of the big downsides on this one. They have a very low payout ratio. They are investing into, like I said, some new manufacturing plants. So maybe after those are built out, they increase this. But for right now, very, very low dividend growth. I would like to see much higher dividend growth with such a low payout ratio. Went back to 2020. They were paying 35 cents and some change. Looks like they jumped it up. Well, they jumped it up again in 2021, March 2021, jumped it up again. Looks like they consistently, 39, a little bit of a drop here. So they're a little inconsistent with their dividend payout rate. Went up to 38 cents here to 39, but then back to 37 to 36. It actually looks like they almost adjust every quarter, which is a little odd, but they're probably going based on maybe they have a percentage that they don't want to get over based on their growing free cash flow. I'm not sure, but they definitely are not consistent with the payouts, right? They do have some inconsistency here with their dividend payouts. So maybe that 32% growth is just from the last one, September 14th to the December payout. Either way, I don't really like to see such discrepancy and not consistent dividend growth overall, but they do pay out on the January, April, July, October timeframe. I do like that. Not a lot of companies pay out in that January, April, July timeframe, so that's nice to see. But again, low dividend growth. Need to look and see if you can find out something on the growth of their projected earnings per share and revenue. Overall, I'm interested in this company, but I would like to watch a couple more quarters and see if it comes back down towards that $60 range. This is the Vested Interest Stock Screener. You can pause this and go through this at your leisure. This is how I set up the videos, as well as how I look at a company on a high level to see if it makes it into the potentially investment grade pile, and then I do more of a deep dive into the financials and do a discounted cash flow analysis to see what I'm willing to pay for the company. Well, that is it for this one. These are supposed to be quick hitters. I like to keep them under 15 minutes, under 12, even under 10 if I can. Now, this one got just over 10 here. As always, appreciate you stopping by. If you haven't done so already, don't forget to show me some love. Hit that thumbs up, ring that notification bell. Most importantly, subscribe to the channel. Let me know what you think about Taiwan Semiconductor Company. Is it one you own? Is it one you're watching? Do you own others in this sector? Would love to hear from you down below. And again, hit that subscribe button. Join us on this journey to financial freedom. Join the vested interest community and hit that notification bell so you're notified whenever we put out any new content. I do personally read and respond to the comments. I'm always interested to read your questions, opinions, or suggestions for future topics. So if you have a company like Taiwan Semiconductor you'd like me to add to the Stock Pick of the Day series, put it down in the comments below and I'll work it into the rotation on a day it pulls back. And this is Shane signing off, wishing peace and prosperity to you and yours. And remember, financial security comes to those who take a vested interest. Hey, thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you in the next one. I'm not a financial advisor. Nothing in this presentation should be considered financial advice. I'm only sharing my opinion and investing journey for educational and entertainment purposes. Investing involves risk against money. You should never invest any amount uncomfortable losing. Always do your own research, invest based on your situation, circumstances, and select criteria, or seek the advice, counsel, of a certified financial advisor.